Oh, well, good evening and welcome to Love Not Fear Take 3. We've had a few technical problems. I thought I'd take advantage of being in this beautiful natural environment here. I'm in Glastonbury, house sitting for some friends. I'm outdoors. I thought I'd take advantage of being outdoors on the terrace, but the sun's in my eyes and I can't see the screen. So bear with me. And if anything comes up in the chat box, Paul, can I leave that to you?
If I can find, yes.
Right.
Okay, mate.
Well, I'm here with, I don't know whether I've said this already. I've said this 3 times and I'm getting confused now. But I'm here with my usual co-host, Paul Simon Smith from Nirvana. And Catherine Waldron's just joined us as well. Hello, Catherine. Lovely to see you. I interviewed her a few weeks ago on my Friday show. So let's get into it because we're running a bit late now. If you see anybody in the waiting room, can you shout? Because I can't see anything on the screen at all.
I've got the chat up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I can't see a waiting room anywhere.
I wonder if I can make you co-host. Let me just have a look. No, I don't know whether I can or not. I can mute you. Can I make you co-host? So we're fairly new to doing this on Zoom. We used to do it on another channel called another platform called Restream. I can't see how to do it. Anyway, we'll muddle on.
Yeah.
The thing I want to talk about is Teal Swan anyway, and what leads on to that. Because there was a documentary that came out yesterday or the day before, which shows her in a very, very poor light. Makes her out to be a bit of a fraud, a bit of a con. And I'm not taking sides one way or the other. I don't know the woman. I've only seen 4 or 5 of her videos. I don't really follow her. But she's just put something out about half an hour ago where she says that they spent 2 years making that video and they've done a real hatchet job on it. And I've had experience in the past with other people having similar experiences, particularly at the hands of the BBC, having the complete hatchet jobs, going into a studio or whatever in good faith and having a complete hatchet job done on it. So I just want to raise awareness of that today. And I know from personal experience what it's like to be accused of things you haven't done and to have people believe the lies. And it's not nice. Have you had it done to you, Paul?
Probably at some point, yeah, but I can't remember a specific occasion, but yeah.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm leading into this, this isn't the end of it, it's just the next chapter. Last week I resigned from the community garden here that I've been helping to start.
I'm sorry to hear that.
In Stafford, not here. I'm still part of the community garden here. I love that very much. Only got good things to say about that, but I've resigned from the one in Stafford where I live and from the broader group, the umbrella group that it was under. Because of the same sort of experience that Teal Swan's just had, or says she's just had. I don't want to go into the details, but somebody in the group was very, very mean to somebody else in the group. And I just said, look, this isn't on. And then people waded in, two people in particular, well, one in particular and one backing her up, waded in and started attacking me, vicious personal attacks and telling lies about me. And I said to her, look, come on, butt out of this. You don't know anything about it. You weren't there. It's none of your business. Just cut people a bit of slack. And nobody came to my side, and everybody went on her side, and people started leaving the group. So I've just said, to hell with it. You know, I don't need to know. I don't want to. I've just walked away. So I'm free now. If anyone's got any projects they want to hang with, let me know. I'm certainly up for a new challenge and a new opportunity. But the thing I really wanted to say, which all this Teal Swan stuff is about, and what I've just said is about, is because, you know, I'm heavily into communities. It's the thing I keep talking about. We need to come together. We need to find the others. We need to form communities. This is the thing I keep on going on and on and on about on these shows. And particularly community gardens. As I've mentioned it lots of times, Paul, haven't I?
Yep.
That border groups can be formed around the hub of a community garden. Because our first need is food. So it broke my heart to walk away from that community garden. It really broke my heart. So I just want to say, can we cut each other a bit of slack? Can we just be nice to each other? Can we, I keep saying, can we come from a place of love and generosity instead of meanness and fear?
This community group you're talking about, Jack, in Stafford, were all the members of the group like truthers? Were they awake?
They were all truthers, yeah. And that's what
it surprises me that there's so much backstabbing or whatever it is that you're describing with amongst people like that. It's not usually the case, is it?
Well, it shook me to the core, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, it's not all of them. It's a tiny minority. It's just one woman who's obviously got problems, and a small group of other women who think that they've always got to side with the woman against the man on principle.
Is there a leader in your group? Do you have a leader?
No. No, we try to avoid that.
I was just thinking, though, in these situations, and I agree, but in these situations, a leader comes in handy, doesn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, I was admin of the Telegram group that we coordinated through, and as admin, I thought it was my responsibility to remove trolls. So I'm afraid I removed this woman from the group after she started this tirade of personal attacks against me. And I'd have done the same if it had been against any other member. It's not my ego. But it just happened. But I don't really want to get into that too much. I don't want to go too much into the details. That's all in the past now. I've walked away from it. I've forgiven everybody. I still love everybody. Even that woman, although I don't want anything more to do with her. Which segues rather nicely into talking about boundaries, doesn't it? As those, I mean, I know people who've got very, very tight boundaries that you can't even touch them without them going, yeah. And I find that very difficult. And they find me very difficult, people like that, because I hardly have any boundaries. But that doesn't mean I don't have any at all. And that really crossed my boundaries, being insulted like that. So I think if we can just try to understand other people, because we're all different. I keep saying we're all one, but we're all different manifestations of the one. Individual points of focus within the one. As those different points of focus, we all have different needs. We've had different experiences. We've had different traumas. And just try to be sensitive to each other's needs.
We've had a comment. Sorry, Jack. We've had a comment. It would seem that I'm unable to get them up on the screen from this end.
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can on Zoom.
No, but I can read them out to you. So we've got one from Catherine Waldron.
Yeah, Catherine's on here now. She's on here.
She says, help us with the way, Jack. This is what we are about. One door closes, another opens.
Yeah, well, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, I definitely want to help you with the way. Yeah. I did a program with another partner of the way, Karen McCabe, last Friday. So we talked a lot about the way. It's a new social media platform.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I've mentioned it before. I'm trying to get my videos onto it. And it's new, and you know, bear with them. And I'm certainly being patient and bearing with them, but they're having a few teething problems with it. Catherine and Karen are very kindly sort of helping me to get these videos up onto it, and the Friday show, the co-creating the New Earth Together videos up onto it. So hopefully that will be live soon. There's a part of it that's like Facebook, and there's a part of it that's like YouTube, and there's a part of it that's like Telegram.
Sounds really good.
So yeah, I don't know whether you want to unmute your mic, Karen, and say a little bit about it. You can if you want to. Catherine, you can if you want to.
She's...
Hi.
Hi. Say a little bit about the way.
Well, other than what you've just said, the three things that we've got. The other thing is the security element about it. We go through everything goes through our own service, which is run under IMO protocol. IMO, something like that, anyway.
Okay.
And it comes under the protocol. That it just means that it's secure, and hopefully what we intend from that is that we can't, if somebody wants to take us down, they'll find it very, very difficult. So the information that you post, when we're trying to get information out there, it's not going to be subject to the normal people that, you know, Amazon, these sort of people that can take us down. There's also, it's made it a little bit more difficult, which is why we're having the teething problems, because we're not going through the big guys. We're avoiding them as much as we can. So we are just one second. My husband's in might be able to explain it a little bit better if you like. Just one sec.
That'd be good. Yeah. That'd be good.
Hello there, it's Gary speaking. Yeah, I put the systems together, so I just thought from a technical aspect, I can give you a better idea of how very, very quickly. They're all hosted in a provider that runs under the Icelandic Modern Media Initiative Protocol, which is effectively a free speech platform and outside the purview of the usual Silicon Valley. So all of our servers are located within that environment in a very secure, physically secure, as well as a cyber secure place. And we own all our services. We don't rely on any of the usual Silicon Valley players and actors at all. Hence why we've developed this technology from scratch using open source techniques, and hence why there's a few teething problems with it, but largely it works, it's functional. We've just got to sort of smooth the process up a little bit, and I think you had a little trouble with the login process, which, you know, that was good feedback, but we're nearly there on that.
No, that's brilliant. I really hope you can get it up and running quickly. I'm really serious about getting my videos up there and becoming a part of it. So power to your elbow. Yeah. So anyway, that's really the serious bit I wanted to deal with today.
Let's have your funny story, Jack.
Well, have you got anything you want to say before I get into the funny story?
Not especially. No, I'll talk about anything. You know me, but yeah, I'd like to hear your funny story.
Well, the funny story, and this is why I'm not mentioning names, okay? I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it's an easy mistake to make. I'm not blaming anybody. But I arrived here on Saturday to house sit. House sit this beautiful property, beautiful garden, 3 gorgeous cats. I'm really loving it here. I'm in my element here. And they left early Sunday morning to go on their trip. And when I arrived on Saturday, I just left my shoes in the porch because it's one of these houses where you don't wear shoes indoors. And and they left before I got up in the morning on Sunday. And when I went to go out on Sunday, my shoes had gone. They've taken my shoes by mistake.
Brilliant.
And,
so you've been doing a lot of grounding, Jack.
So I was talking to Mabi this morning, you know Mabi.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, you're listening to get a new pair from the charity shop." I said, "I can't get to the charity shop. I haven't got any shoes."
You'll have to pretend it's 1969 or something, mate, and just go down there barefoot.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny. Although it's all sorted now. I mean, although we don't particularly like Amazon, they do have their uses in an emergency.
Yeah.
And I've just had a cheap pair of trainers delivered. So
Have you told your friends that they've taken your shoes with them?
I have, yes. And
I bet they laughed, didn't they?
They're laughing too. So tell me about this workshop you've done today.
Yeah, it was the first one. So I'm doing a Nutrient Nirvana Health Club. And we call it a club because that way we can say to each other pretty much whatever we want. And there's no comeback from anyone, you know. It's you're legally able to say what you like, basically. So that covers us. And it's focused mainly on diet and then supplementation. So we talk about food. I do it with another lady in the shop, and she knows a lot about diet as well. She's done a lot of research on it. So we're both on the same page. So we're talking about how necessary it is to eat like your ancestors. You know, lots of healthy fats, lots of healthy foods, avoiding processed foods, fast foods, and all that type of thing. And really, like, people, and I forget this as well because I've been awake for 15 years or something like that. And a lot of people that I'm talking to now that are part of our tribe, if you like, have only been awake for about 2 years, thanks to, you know, what's been going on. So we're all at different levels, and you forget, you know, you can easily forget that you might know a lot of stuff that other people don't know. So there's a lot of people out there that still think, for example, that low-fat diets are a really good idea. And they're anything but, you know, it's the complete opposite is the truth. So we've been kind of persuading people and showing them stuff as well, that you need healthy fats. Fats are really necessary for your brain, for all sorts of things in the body. We've been lied to about cholesterol, all that type of thing, really. And then I got to talk about how there are really a handful of nutrients that we need to supplement with now because they're no longer in the food, and for other reasons as well. And I've done all that before. We've talked about magnesium, iodine, vitamin C, vitamin D, etc. Your co-host last Monday talked very eloquently about that as well.
She's good, isn't she?
She's very good, yeah. She's very good. She needs to come to Nutrient Nirvana though, but other than that, I'll forgive her that one. But other than that,
I don't know whether you noticed, but I've always put a Nutrient Nirvana link in the description, even if she's recommended somewhere else.
Yeah. So it was good. We had 5 people turn up. It was only the first one, so that was not bad. And I sold a couple of bits, and I'm hoping that I've set those people on the right path now. You know, not that I know, I'm not claiming to know everything about health, but I know more than most people. You know, I've researched health for over 10 years now. and we're lied to on a daily basis by the mainstream media about what's healthy and what's good to eat and what's, you know. So it's a very exciting project, mate, and I'm really, really excited about it.
I mean, this is why I'm so excited about doing community gardens, why I love doing community gardens.
Jack, can I just tell you quickly something that's turned up about community gardens?
Yeah.
Where the shop is, across from us, there's quite a large field, and we're currently talking with the manager of the farm if he will allow us a small area to do a community garden. And so far, he thinks it's a good idea.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, so fingers crossed, my community group in Thurrock will hopefully in the near future have a community garden. So that's, yeah, really good news.
Really excited about that, Paul.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's my big thing, and organic growing. It's my big thing. It's always been my big thing. The reason we need to take, I don't want to put you out of work, but the reason we need all these supplements is because there's bugger all nutrients in the food anymore.
Yep.
And the reason there's bugger all nutrients in the food is that modern farming feeds the plants with artificial fertilizers rather than feeding the soil.
Yep.
By putting manure and compost on it. And it just, every year it becomes more, the soil becomes more and more depleted.
And of course, plants only need 3 things to grow: nitrogen, phosphorus, and what's the other one? I've forgotten.
Potassium.
Nitrogen. Yes, thank you.
And
so they only need those 3 nutrients to grow. So, you know.
We need an awful lot more.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we should
need to have, so we need to have more than just the NPK in our food.
We need all the trace minerals, the fulvic acid in the soil.
This is what. So this is why we have to feed the soil. It's why only organic produce can do that.
Provided, mate, of course, that the soil that the organic crops have grown on is nutritious as well. You know, it holds a lot of soil minerals. Otherwise, even if it's organic, if it's been grown on barren land, so to speak, then it's not going to be all that good for you.
No, but if provided there's any clay at all in the soil, then and you put humus in, then nature will form clay humus complexes in the soil, and you're going to have a whole ecosystem in there, full of lots of little creepy crawlies and worms and all kinds of stuff in there. You're going to have a balance. And if you just feed it with chemicals, you can't do that. Now, the land that I've been working for the last 6 months, and I won't be going back to, which I'll say has broken my heart, but there you go, it's life. Although it's been left alone for 8 years before we took it over, it's had nothing on it. It's had no animals. It's had nothing at all. And digging that land, although ultimately I wanted it to be a no-dig system, you've got to dig the first year or so. There weren't any. I didn't see a single bloody worm.
Oh, really?
I think I saw 3 worms on the whole time I was digging.
That's not a good sign, is it?
So it would take years to build the ecosystem back up in that soil. And the only way you can do that is by putting manure or compost on the soil. This is my thing, because although I'm 90%, 95% vegetarian, which you tell me I shouldn't be, but I do.
I don't tell you, mate. I wouldn't tell you.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But tongue in cheek, you tell me I shouldn't be. But at the same time, I can see if we don't have farm animals on the soil, on the land, to dung the land, the old mixed farm system. If everybody went vegetarian, there weren't any animals, there wasn't any manure.
Yeah, I think Rudolf Steiner was a vegetarian, and he invented biodynamic farming. and the animals played a crucial role in
Yeah.
his farming method. So they're all part of the,
Yeah, even if you're not fit, even if you're not eating them, you got to have them on there.
Yeah, definitely.
And the best way to cultivate new land, break in new land, and I've always said this, is to put Jerusalem artichokes in everywhere, and then put pigs on it to get them out.
Okay, I've not heard that one before. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Pigs are brilliant because they'll
Yeah.
get their little snouts in and they'll turn it. They're bio plows. They really are. They'll
Yeah,
turn the soil over,
Yeah,
get all the weed roots out as well while they're at it.
yeah,
Dung the land.
yeah. That's a great idea. I
And
did.
then the next year you can get on and start growing whatever you want.
Yeah, I planted Jerusalem artichokes about 4 years ago, and they just spread everywhere. It was a nightmare.
I know. Yeah, if you haven't got pigs to get them out, then
Yeah, they're absolutely rampant.
then treat them as a permanent crop,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
because you'll never get them out.
No, no, I don't even like them that much.
I don't particularly, but they're useful.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be lovely if I could find somebody with a community garden who wanted a guy to go and help run it, because I'm not attached to, well, I never was attached to Stafford really, but I'm particularly not attached to Stafford anymore. I'm quite happy to live off grid. All I want is a hut or something.
Yeah. What about, have you ever considered up there getting yourself an allotment, your own allotment?
No.
Why is that, mate? If you don't mind.
I'll tell you why. Because when I started doing this community garden with the other people in Stafford, I could do it with this mindset that I'm just helping them get it started. I'm not doing it for me. And although it's been a wrench leaving it after putting in all that work. At least I had that mindset that it wasn't permanent for me, because I don't want to live in Stafford permanently.
Right, fair enough.
It's just a bolt hole. When I sold my boat, I needed a bolt hole. I needed somewhere temporary. It was never my plan to stay in Stafford.
Okay.
And yeah, but yeah, who knows? When one door closes, another opens. So
Yep.
all my life, Paul, I don't know whether you've ever experienced anything like this, but I seem to I've always been a nomad. I've never put down roots. And life just seems to take me to the next place where I'm needed. So if I've got another assignment waiting for me, I'll be taken to it, I'm sure. I'm just releasing it to the universe and letting whatever happens be okay. And just opening myself up to it all.
One thing I did want to talk to you about today, or just mention, Jack, was that you wrote your book, Love Not Fear, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Over the last few weeks, more and more, I've been seeing things on social media, but also experiencing stuff in my own area. People are coming together, mate. It is happening. It's happening.
Yes,
absolutely. It's definitely happening. It's not just in my neck of the woods, it's all over the country. People are forming groups, and the message of your book is a very big part of it, I think. So it's exciting times, mate. You know, I didn't think, I've been awake for 15, 16 years, something like that. I never thought that I'd, know so many people in my local area now that are awake. I know you don't like that term very much, but
no, I don't mind that term.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
The term I don't like is calling people who aren't awake sheep. That's what I don't like.
Right, what about sheeple?
I don't like that either.
What about normies? What about normies?
No, let's not label people. People are just people. And we're all on our own different journeys, and we've got to respect where we are in our journeys. Respect where each other are in our journeys. This is why this thing I've just been through, I'm not taking it personally. I'm not hating the people that have done it to me. I don't like that terminology either. So I don't forgive anybody, because I don't think there is anything to forgive. We're all doing the best we can.
Mm. Mm.
And it's given me an experience which I'm sure in the greater scheme of things, I came here to experience.
Mm.
So, there's nothing to forgive. There's never, ever, 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 ever anything to forgive. Have you ever heard of the concept? It's a Celtic, it's a Saxon concept, I think. The web of weird, weird spelt with a Y.
I don't think so, no.
No. Well, weird is it's not nothing to do with the modern usage of the word. Weird is like fate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's like the web of life. It's the idea of I don't know what, the butterfly in China causing a hurricane in Los Angeles or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's connected. And the Saxon seers used to interpret the omens according to this web of, I've just seen this happening, so something else is happening. Well, I don't do it quite like that, but I do believe that everything is connected.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that happens, even the things that we label as bad, nothing's bad.
Mm.
As Shakespeare said, I can't remember word for word, there's nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Mm. Mm.
It's all part of this web of existence. And every bit of that web that's happening is causing every other bit of the web that's happening. It's all meant to be.
Yeah.
Even the bits we don't like, it's all meant to be.
Mm.
Well, you
Sure.
can't have one bit without the other bit,
Mm.
because it's all connected.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. It does, I suppose. Yeah, you are, at the end of the day, I was just thinking, it was making me think, you are what you eat, you drink, you breathe, and what you think as well. So I've been becoming more conscious of that theory or idea that, if you're constantly thinking negatively, then you're going to draw negative things towards you. And I can see that now. That makes total sense. So you are what you eat, drink, breathe, and think.
And think and believe and expect.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people teaching the law of attraction now, and a lot of people say that you get what you believe, and I don't agree with that. I think we get what we expect.
Yeah.
I've given that a lot of thought over the years, and in my personal experience, I get what I expect.
Okay. What about if you meditate on something, and so if you meditate on something for a long period, you're supposed to be able to manifest it?
Yeah, well, I think that's true. If you can feel the feelings, and we live in a feeling universe rather than a thinking universe. It's no good just thinking it or seeing the pictures of it. You've got to feel it in your heart and in your gut.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at that. So, but no, I do believe in that. But I believe, as I say, you've got to believe it's going to happen. And another way to say believe it's going to happen is to say expect it to happen.
Right.
It brings you back to we attract what we expect.
Yeah.
Which is why I said the other week, whatever it was, I lose track of time. There's this meme going around, give and expect nothing in return.
Yeah.
And I say that's wrong. Give and don't expect anything in
return. Yeah.
Because if you expect nothing, you will attract getting nothing.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. Oh, Catherine's up there. She's on mute.
What do you reckon, Catherine? Put your mic on, love. Unmute if you want to.
Yeah, she's unmuted. There she is.
Yeah, I've unmuted. I completely agree with you what you're saying there, Jack. I had an experience this morning actually, which was along the same lines, where I I was like sort of doing a bit of yoga meditation thing, and I saw I actually saw myself as if I was walking up a mountain track towards the top, and all of a sudden I was surrounded by trees and lost in a forest sort of thing, and all of a sudden I felt like I'd left my body and I was looking down at myself, and saying, oh look, there she thinks that she's surrounded by trees and she's lost in there, and she's actually fine, she's fine, she's just having the experience. And then as I was looking down, I was like sort of seeing other people having arguments and things, and knowing it was absolutely fine because it was just an experience and it was just moving through that energy.
That's beautiful, Catherine. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is an illusion. I believe anyway.
I was speaking to a spiritualist today, Jack, in the shop, and she said that she was in communication with my dad, who I lost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And evidently he said to me, you've lost your funny side, Paul. You're taking things too seriously. So I just wonder, you know, is he talking about me getting lost in all the social media and the truth of stuff and trying to explain it to people? Do I need to take time off from that maybe and just be like I used to be, which was a happy-go-lucky sort of person, because I'm more concerned now with still waking people up and helping people and getting things going, getting community groups going and stuff like that. And maybe he's right, if that was my dad. What do you think?
Well, this is what we decided, you and me, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, wasn't it? About this show, that we had been concentrating too much on the negative, too much on all the things that were wrong, too much on trying to wake people up. And we wanted to move to make it a more positive, uplifting show.
Yep.
And concentrate on what's good in the world, and what we can all be doing to make a difference in the world. So yeah, I certainly see it within that context. It's important to have I don't know whether you're familiar with Joe Vitale's work at all. Joe
Vitale?
Vitale.
No, I don't think so.
He's an American law of attraction teacher.
Right.
American Italian sort of guy, and he wrote a book called The Attractor Factor. 5 steps to getting what you want. And his first step was to take stock of where you are now. So we do need to know what's going on in the world. We do need to know all the dark stuff. But that's just the first step. We don't need to dwell there and then be springboarded into the next 4 steps.
One of my friends recently, actually, it was around the time of the Jubilee, she posted something on Facebook, and she wrote, I'm very disappointed that so many of my friends in the truther community or whatever are posting so much negative stuff around the Jubilee. If people want to celebrate, have a good time, then go for it, and let's focus less on the negative side and more on the positive. And I said, well, I'm all about love and light, but you ignore the darkness at your peril, surely.
Yeah. Did you see the Jubilee special that I did?
I may have done, mate. Yeah,
last week. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did, yeah. Were you on your own, or was you with somebody else?
No, I was on my own.
I think I saw it, yeah.
Annie was going to join me on it, and it was my fault. It wasn't her fault that she didn't join me. I got things a bit muddled up. I'm still learning Zoom. I mean, I'm used to doing it on Restream. I'm still
learning Restream.
And, yeah, I got things a bit muddled up on the technical side, so she wasn't able to join me. But that's my fault. It's not Annie's fault. No criticism of Annie. Well, I cheated a little bit, really, because I I was a little bit underhanded in a way, I suppose, because I posted it as a Jubilee special.
Mm.
And I only spoke for about 10 minutes about the Jubilee, and then used it to segue into what I wanted to talk about, which is love and generosity.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant.
Which is my whole theme, really. Apart from, I've got two themes in my life now: community gardens, which I hope is going to be a theme again, if I can find another one to get involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere where I can do it. What I really want is somewhere where I can do it on a live-in basis. Have a hut or something on the land and be there all the time.
Lovely.
I'm quite happy to live off grid. I don't need electricity and stuff. I spent most of my life living off grid. So, plug if anybody out there wants somebody to help them with a community garden on that, or to run one indeed, if you want that. I'm very, very happy to do that. Forgot what I was saying now. What was I saying, Paul?
You were talking about trying to find another community garden project.
No, before that.
What were we talking about? Jubilee, your show, doing the Jubilee show. Annie didn't. You couldn't get Annie on, and you were talking about Jubilee for 10 minutes, and then you segued into talking about love and generosity.
I totally lost my track, Paul.
That's all right. I'm having one of those days as well.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. A two-pronged thing in my life. One of it is community gardens, and the other one of it is promoting love and generosity.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And that's what I'm really about. That's what Love Not Fear is all about.
Well, what we're doing with the community group is we're hopefully going to get the garden soon now, but the idea is that we're there to help each other out. So, if one of us needs something doing and they're having a problem with it, then if someone else in the group knows how to fix that problem, and that's how it's working. And so far, it's working really, really well. We have a group.
How else was supposed to work?
Yeah.
But somebody I'm not going to go into too much detail, but somebody in the group who's elderly and has cancer. It's a huge area. Somebody in the group who's elderly and has cancer just wanted a little 1 square meter to put a pallet down to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 others said, "Oh, you're not entitled to that," and they took it away.
Yeah, blimey.
And I don't. That's the height of meanness,
Yep, definitely. Yeah, sure.
And I didn't want to be involved with anything like that.
No, don't blame you.
And I couldn't understand where that level of thinking comes from. I really can't.
No. Is there any chance you can start a new group in your area?
Not in Stafford, no.
No?
No, I've definitely had enough of Stafford now.
Okay. So you're going to be on the move soon then?
If anything comes up.
Mm.
I've got some friends that are moving. I may have mentioned this before. I've got friends that are moving to Romania.
Really?
And they're asking me if I'd like to go out and join them there and help them run their little farm. Which is tempting. It's really tempting at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not sure I'm really ready for learning another language.
Okay.
I'm too old to learn another language.
Well, I don't know, Jack.
I'm 70 tomorrow.
You're 70 tomorrow, really?
70
Happy
tomorrow.
birthday, mate. I'm really chuffed that you're in Glastonbury for your birthday. That's brilliant.
Well, I've done what with it? Oh, in Glastonbury for it, yeah.
That you're there for your birthday. That's fantastic.
And I'm here for the summer solstice.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Oh well, never mind. I'll be there soon, just not for solstice, unfortunately. But I'm really.
And my birthday tomorrow is also the full moon.
Oh wow! Okay.
What an enchanted week!
Yeah, definitely.
What a powerful week to set out intentions.
Yeah, I know. You do seem full of beans this week, Jack. I've got to be honest. So it's just nice to see.
Paul, when I said this, I told you this before. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but last time I was here,
Mm.
I've been here 5 days
Mm.
or 4 days. And somebody said to me, I don't know how it came up in conversation, how old are you, Jack? And I said, I'm 5 years younger than I was 5 days ago. Well, that's the way I'm feeling now.
Yeah.
The energy is here, because I'm out on Weary Hill, a little bit further down from Healing Gardens, but I'm in Healing Waters. But it's still on Weary Hill, still on Roman Way, which is where the Healing Gardens is.
Yeah, I know.
Sacred Spring is,
Mm.
which I've now discovered I have past life connections with anyway. And I just, the energy is here. I just become invigorated by them. It just brings me life.
Me too. I remember going there for the first time, a year ago, maybe a bit longer than that. And it's not like any other place on earth in terms of what you're talking about, the energy and stuff. Yeah, I picked up on it straight away. And it's not all good, I don't think, or light. There's a little bit of dark energy there too that I sensed. But it's a magical place, and I can't imagine being anywhere better. Really
You can't have the light without the darkness. You've got to have a balance.
Mm. Yeah.
It's the whole point of shadow work. Because I was talking to somebody about shadow work a few months ago, wasn't I, on the Friday show?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to acknowledge the dark side. You've got to love your shadow.
Mm. Mm.
You can't be all light and love all the time.
Mm.
Which brings me back to boundaries. I do try to be love and light an awful lot, but I have my dark side, and I acknowledge that. And I have my I get triggered, and meanness triggers me, I'm afraid. And I really got triggered over that meanness. But you've got to have love and light and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just have the one.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got to have the balance.
Mm. Yeah, I suppose really in this existence, it's all about learning, isn't it? That's what I've really picked up on over the last few years. Is we're here to learn, and we're here to be challenged, and it's not supposed to be utopia. It's not. I don't think it is. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't try and make it, make the world a better place. We should, but at the same time, we're here to be challenged, and we're here to learn, I think.
I think even when we do have our utopia, using the word in its uplifting, positive sense, which hopefully is what the new earth is going to be, some kind of utopia, we're still going to have challenges. They'll just be on a higher level.
I meant to ask you, do you remember when I told you to watch Survivors? Did you ever get round to watching the rest of it?
Oh, I did watch all of it. Yeah, what's right to the end. Yeah,
it's fantastic. And I thought that was great because of what we talk about and the challenges that they had to face as they started this new earth. There was obviously bickering, infighting and stuff like that, and external threats from other groups and things. So it was very, very interesting to watch, particularly at the start of the first lockdown as well.
Yeah, I loved it. As I told you, I watched it before when I was young, when I was younger, and it was good to watch it again. But of course, it had a rather disappointing ending, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. They tried to get electricity back on, didn't they? And start the grid up again, and go and form a government. And basically, they were just regressing back into what they'd come from.
That's
which
right.
was the last thing that they should have done.
They had this beautiful decentralized world, and they tried to centralize it all again.
Yeah, big mistake.
Because my book's all about decentralization. Which, by the way, quick plug for the book before I forget. You can get a free download from my website, and I'll put the link below in the description on the YouTube version of this when I put this up on YouTube later on, together with a link to Paul's Nutrient Nirvana, where you can get your excellent supplements, and I put a link to the way there for you, Catherine, and all lots of useful links. But yeah, the book's all about decentralization and grassroots.
Mm.
I've always believed that. This is why I've always been against globalization.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. I think
Someone's just come up.
Catherine just said, thank you both and happy birthday for tomorrow, Jack.
Oh, thanks, Catherine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I intend to get very, very drunk.
Why not?
No, seriously, I'll probably sit on Wiriel Hill for a bit and just meditate.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I was going to say something then, now I've forgotten. What was it? So we were talking about survivors, weren't we?
Yes, and how it ended up as a government. People tried to start a government.
Mm.
And also the fact that the people who tried to start the government tried to do it fraudulently.
Mm.
They used one of their members who'd been killed as the figurehead. Very much like Big Brother in 1984. There was nobody actually there, just this vision of this guy that this figurehead that was actually dead. And it was all about oil, wasn't it? They lied that they had this great reserve of oil, which they didn't have. I think it's all governments are always based on lies anyway, but to start one off on lies.
Exactly.
There should have been a series 2.
I think there was, but there should have been a series 3 is what you mean. Yeah, definitely. They could have carried it on. I don't know how successful it was back in, I think it was made in 1975, which is the year I was born, funnily enough. So I don't know how well received it was back then, but as I say, I came across it by accident at the start of the lockdown, and it's one of the best dramas I've ever watched. It was really thought-provoking and so well made, and the stories were really, really good. So anyone, they're still on YouTube, anyone who's watching this that fancies watching a really good drama, so there's probably about 20 odd episodes, 2 series. It's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, as long as you're prepared to suspend your disbelief just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying that, and I tell everyone to get rid of their telly.
Yeah.
But that's, I do watch the occasional thing, but online.
Yeah, I watch stuff online. I watch YouTube stuff online. I haven't got a telly, but just suspend your disbelief a little bit and get into the story, because these people are surviving off grid with nothing. The women have all got lovely hairdos. They've just been to the hairdressers.
Yeah.
And they've all got makeup on.
Yeah. That's like I saw, I think it was called The Tudors. There was a drama made fairly recently about the Tudors. And, so it's based around 450 years ago or whatever. And they're all walking around like they've just come out of a hairdresser's. And it's ridiculous, absolute crazy. But there we are.
Yeah, I particularly liked Survivors because the whole thing started with a pandemic, didn't it?
It did, yes. And the pandemic started in China and then was discovered in Italy, which I thought was very interesting. That immediately got me interested, because that's what happened with Corona.
With the one we had in the last couple of years.
So same pattern.
A lot of parallels.
Only with this virus in Survivors, it killed well over 99% of the world's occupants. So there was only like tiny pockets of people situated, in different areas. But I might have to watch it again now, because it was really, really, really good. Really liked it.
Do watch it if you can. Have you seen it, Catherine?
I think Catherine might have gone. Oh, she's got a mute on.
She's still there. Yeah. Anyway, she'll come on later and tell us if she wants to. So what else is happening in your world, Paul?
I'm making steady progress now with my allotment. It's about 2/3 operational now, which is good, because I've got quite a decent. I've got 2 half plots basically, but both those half plots are big half plots. So I've got quite a bit of land, and it's getting there gradually, which is really good. Told you I started my health club today, which went quite well. Yes, other than that, I feel bloody tired today, mate. I've got to be honest with you, because of the dustman waking me up at 6:30 in the morning.
I was in Spain for 17 years, as you know,
Mhm.
and there the dustman always comes early in the morning, and they come every day.
That's crazy. At least it's once a week. Otherwise, I'd probably have a nervous breakdown. Yeah.
I was quite, I mean, yeah, we had the streets dustbin bin hut. I can't remember what they called them now. The Missouri, where all the bins were for the street.
Yeah,
And it's right opposite my house.
typical.
So I got used to being woken up in the morning.
Yeah,
It's nice to have your bins emptied daily.
yeah, I guess so. It's just I'm not really a morning person, and for years I worked as a guitar teacher and performer and stuff, and that was always afternoon and evening work. So I got into a pattern where, you know, and now if I get woke up at 6:30, I'm yeah, never mind, can't be helped. I'm just very happy to see you happy, mate. I've got to be honest with you. It's lovely to see you out in Glastonbury in your favourite place. Looking very smart today as well, I've noticed, and nice new shirt, Jack. And it's nice to see you happy.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I'm very happy here in Glastonbury. I love Glastonbury. I couldn't live here. I don't think. I don't know. It would depend on lots of different things, and yeah, but you know about all that. But I'm just very happy to spend time here and be here for my birthday and for the solstice.
I wonder if that Romania offer it might be a good idea. I'm, you know, it's going around in my head now, thinking about it. A new adventure like that might be a good idea. I mean, how many Romanians speak English? You might not have to learn the lingo.
Well, part of Spain, where I was when I first went over there, Costa del Sol, people kept telling me you don't need to learn the language here. They all speak English. But I insisted on learning the language because if you go there as a foreigner, I mean, there were people there who would not learn English. Sorry, would not learn Spanish. And that's the bad immigrants, which I keep talking about. They wouldn't integrate. They wouldn't embrace the Spanish culture. You go with that mindset, you will always be an outsider.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Having said that, you know, you're thinking, well, I might be a bit too old to learn a new language now, which I don't necessarily agree with. But, you know, you could always see it like that, you know, see, well, I can't learn the language now for that reason. So, you know, I wouldn't let that stop you.
Well, if it happens, I'm not saying it will happen, but if it comes to anything, then it's certainly a possibility.
Okay.
But if
we're still going to love, not fear if you do go, though, aren't we?
Oh, we'll still keep on doing the show. Yeah.
Good.
We may have a summer recess. I mentioned this to you. We may just have a summer. I'm not sure yet, but we. I went camping last year, as you know, on Dartmoor, and I fancy doing that again this summer.
Well, so like I say, mate, I might
just have a summer recess.
I'd be happy to cover for you for a couple of weeks or whatever for a couple of shows. I'd be more than happy to step into your shoes.
That's very kind of you to offer, but it might be more than just a couple of weeks.
Well, for however long, I don't mind.
But we'll see how it works out.
Yeah. The offer's there, mate, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's been talking to you again. Thank you very much, Catherine, for coming on. I think we've done our hour now. Possibly not, because we had 2 false starts. So.
We did.
Anyway, it's getting cold out here on the terrace, so shall we wrap it up? And
okay, mate. No worries.
Quick plug for this Friday. Co-creating the New Earth together on Friday. I've got a gentleman coming on who used to work in Big Pharma.
Oh, I saw the your thing for this, your advert for this, and it looks very interesting. I'm looking forward to that, mate.
Yeah. So there may be some revelations.
Ooh.
And we've also do come on and watch, because it may be the very, very last show we do. Because we might get taken down as a result of
I was
doing
just
that show.
thinking that as you said that, yeah, if you make revelations of that kind on YouTube, that normally results in a goodbye channel.
Well, we're going to do it on Zoom.
Hmm.
And if it's too controversial, I won't put it on YouTube. I'll just put it on The Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this what she's just said? Yeah.
Yeah, then WayTube, yeah.
I'll put it on WaveTube, Catherine. If I can get the technical side of it sorted out, I will definitely put it on.
I wouldn't mind knowing where Catherine came up with the name The Way, because The Way is very interesting, because not a lot of people know this probably, but The Way was how Jesus's movement was described at the time in the 1st century. It was called The Way. Not many people know that. So
Right,
there
yeah.
you go. You're off to a good start on that front.
Well, Catherine, I don't know whether you want to come on yourself, Catherine, and tell them, or whether you want me to tell them. But in the first show I did with Catherine, she told me that she'd had a download, and it came to her in a dream or something. Way show us.
Okay.
Well, you've got to come on and say a little bit about that before we close.
Be interesting.
Yeah, I was part of this group that we were doing like sort of like a meditation thing, and I got this message, way showers, and I was like sort of sat the next day doing my yoga and everything. I thought I heard somebody shout way showers, and I looked round, and being hard of hearing, it was a bit strange, but I thought that was really clear, but there was nobody there. So from that, I took it to a few people who were in the group of what we were learning at the time, and Karen was one of them. And I just like sort of said, I've got this message sort of thing to set up way showers, and we was talking to a few of them, and we said, like, so well, way showers is what we actually are, and then we went into like so what we sort of call like an end result, where you like sort of form a circle, and we came up with the way. It was it just came out. We thought the one way sort of is in the umbrella of all the services that we did. And then as the social media element came on board, Wei Chi came to me, which that became, and also we couldn't get the Wei as a domain name, so we got Wei Chi, and then we got the Wei Chat, well, the chat service. So Wei Chat came up, and then Wei Chu, so YouTube. So everything sort of comes under the umbrella of the Way, and it also there is the Jesus as well. So as it turns out,
Yeah.
I had heard of that, sort of I am the Way and so on. But as it turned out, it seems really, really appropriate.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is about joining what you two was talking about before. It's about connecting people and moving forward in a higher vibrational state. And I do feel that we've all fallen into that pattern where we thought, we get involved in what they're doing, sort of thing, and the vibration then is on their level. And what it's about is like sort of, let's look at how we are going to create something different and something new and something together in a different vibration of love.
That's beautiful, Catherine. Yeah. Beautiful.
Best of luck with that, Catherine. I think that's a brilliant idea, and I wish you the best of luck with it. And it's an amazing time to be alive.
Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. We're so lucky. Well, we're not lucky because we designed it this way. That we're so fortunate to be here, to see all this happening, to see the world change in front of our eyes in the way it is. Yeah, we got some more dark days to go, but we're heading in the right direction. I can see everything that's happening, even the bad stuff, as being part of the part of the weather weird, if you like, part of the network. And I just feel so very privileged to be here.
Me too, mate. Happy days.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
nice chatting to you, Paul. Lovely chatting to you, Catherine. And see you all again next week, hopefully. Namaste.
In Lakesh.
What's that mean?
It means in you, I see me in you, roughly.
Well, right, before I stop recording, I thought I was going to show you a cat, but hey, Sam, come on, Sam. I've got these gorgeous cats that I'm cat sitting. Come on. He wants feeding. That's what he wants. He's not gonna cooperate.
Oh, well, never mind. Never worked with animals, mate. You're another me. In Lakesh, you, in you, I see another me.
Yeah.
Loosely translated. Yeah.
Hang on. Here we come. Yes. There you go. Say hello to the people. No, he doesn't want to. He's
Camera shy.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all one. And if we do something for somebody else, we're also doing it for ourselves. There is no separation. If we can see through this illusion of separation, everything changes. When we realize that if you take away the ocean, all the islands are just peaks on a mountain range. Yeah.
Yep. Great analogy.
We lose the illusion of the ocean, realize that we're all one. Everything changes. On that note, until next week.
In Lakesh.